morning and welcome to the After Shift Report. Today I want to start with a quote from Carl Rogerson, which says, "The curious paradox is that when I accept myself as I am, then I can change." So why is that? Why are things changed once we accept things where they are, or accept you as you and your thoughts and your way of being? So last week, if you haven't watched last week, I do encourage you to go back and watch last week because that's where I started this topic and introduced some ideas to you. First, last week I talked with you being able to make peace or accepting things just as they are in your life. Now, one thing I think we all get caught up with is that if you make peace, it's kind of like forgiving somebody for something they've done, and you're not ready to let go of that. Well, it does, and we tend to think of forgiving somebody as making them right for something that they've done in your life, but that's not at all true. Forgiveness truly is for you to be able to move forward and have peace with things. So when I say make peace with life and accepting things, it's really making everything neutral, okay? So you're not assigning negative energy to it or positive energy to it. It just is. It just is what it is, okay? So it's just accepting that this event is happening, whether I like it or not, it is happening. So it's very neutral. It's not putting a lot of emotion into it and saying, oh, I can't stand that this is going on. This just irritates me. I'm so upset with it. And then being consumed in that negative mindset about it. Now, let me just remind everybody that when we make peace with what is in our life, the negative energy within us is then transmuted and transformed. Okay? I gave you an analogy last week about a circle being our space of energy. I'm going to just change that up a little bit to a heart. So if this is our heart and we have not made peace with things that are within our life, then our heart is just filled with all this negative energy in our space. Like this, we're going to say this is all the energy that can be in our body is in this one little space. And so if only the little bottom part has some happy, positive thoughts, then what's overpowering? What's driving us? And that's the negativity. So when we can make all that negativity neutral, then we have a created space for more positive to come in. And that's the goal here, is that we have positive energy building within our heart center, okay? So that's the goal here. And once you can begin to free up that negative energy within you, then that space, again, it allows you to hear your inner guide, God, higher power, spirit, whatever you want to call. For me, as a Christian, I refer to him as God. I can now hear God guiding me. All that clutter's gone, okay? So this week, I wanted to take that a little deeper. And I want to, because it's all good and well to say, oh yeah, just make it, just be neutral to it, just don't attach any emotion to it. But that's easier said than done, isn't it? So how do we get to move forward? Okay. Now, first of all, I want you to continue with each day, whether it's in the morning or in the evening, just spend a couple of minutes. I'm not telling you to sit down and write a journal for 30 minutes or to meditate for 30 minutes, but just to spend a couple of minutes thinking about, well, what happened yesterday? What happened earlier today that was filled with, where I was charged and I just was rattled by it or bothered by it, or it just keeps coming back to my mind that I'm not content with where this particular item is for my life. So just spend each day, it is important to just take a couple minutes and recap in your mind what was good, what was bad, what am I still bothered by, and you need to get into a practice of it. So just like you brush your teeth in the morning before you go to bed, and you brush your teeth before you go to bed each night, then you need to have a place for this little activity, which is not to be considered lightly. This is very important because you are setting yourself up either for the day or for the next day, depending on when you do it, for how you're going to feel and flow in your day. So it is a very important practice to do each day. So find a place, whether it's in your morning routine, in your evening routine, to take those couple of minutes and just think about where those are in how you're recognizing judgments and anxiety regarding surrounding a particular situation, whatever the case may be. Just look for those things. Now, one, we're going to begin to release that and transmute it. But the other thing, increasing your awareness is so key, because I think so often we don't spend enough time being quiet and introspective and seeing ourselves for where we are and how we are feeling. We are, as a society, we're very cut off from our own emotions. We struggle feeling the emotions within our body. Any tightness, tenseness that may be held within different muscles in our body. We're a very high stress society. So just again, this little practice can help you become aware. And you can't change things if you're not aware, right? So putting that 2-minute spot in your day is going to serve you in many ways. Okay, so now the next level that I want you to go to is, and there's different names for it. I learned it as good things about, and that's where you have a situation and you think about what could possibly be good about this. Let's say, for example, you maybe are having a health crisis, and it does not feel very good in that moment, does it? And so, I mean, not at all. It can be very, very frightening. So what could possibly be good about it? One, you get to exercise your trust muscles. You're going to trust that the physicians are knowledgeable and that they know how to take care of what needs to be taken care of. A lot of times in a major health crisis, we take stock of our life again. We really look at our relationships with people. And all of a sudden, it's funny, isn't it, when you're faced with a life or death situation, that those grudges that we've held on to for years, they really just kind of go right out the door, don't they? And so this could be an opportunity to let those grudges go, let judgments go. And that in itself is huge in helping you to heal, because getting rid of all that negativity is so important in your healing. And it could be that, again, as a Christian, I tend to focus in that direction. So if you have struggled trusting God or really fully committing to letting Him guide things, then you get to exercise again your trust muscles and your faith muscles, and your faith journey becomes strengthened. Now, you may not be aware, I have found many times in my life that during difficult struggles, it's not always in that season that I see all the benefits. But once I look back, then I do see those benefits. And then there's certainly, as more things, difficult seasons come into my life, I have exercised these trust and faith muscles so that I can fall back on those and rely on them. It could become an opportunity for other people to be present and help you, and you letting go of control and receiving that help. Maybe just somebody bringing you a meal, somebody mowing your grass, somebody running to the grocery store for you. Boy, I can remember when my oldest brother was going through his cancer and I was gone a lot. He lived 6 hours from me, so going and helping to take care of him, I was gone from my family a lot. And, my church family was like, oh, let us bring you meals. And I'm like, I wanted to say, no, you don't need to do that. But you know what? allowing that wall to come down and having to do it all, it took a lot of pressure off of me, and um, it allowed them to carry out kind acts. When I do kind things, I want it to be received in the right uh, way it was intended. So letting others help you in that moment is a very positive thing. So, I could go on and on about things that are good in a bad situation. It takes practice to do that. I remember when I first started doing this, I'm like, I don't see anything good in it at all. So, maybe talk to somebody, talk to your spouse, talk to a dear friend, talk to, if you go to church, talk to some of your church mentors and say, what could possibly be good in this? Pray. Ask God, what are how could this possibly be a good thing in my life? So that is your challenge for this week. I want you to continue with doing a recap. Just take a couple minutes and where are you finding judgment? Where are you finding resentment? Where are you carrying negativity in yourself toward different situations? And how can you release that? How can you just say, I accept that situation as it is. I'm neither neutral nor I'm neither positive nor negative toward it. I just see it for what it is, and that will, in itself, will just change your life. I do want to mention one other thing here. I keep playing with this paper in my hand, and I'm like, oh, I wanted to show this to you all. This is an emotion chart, and there are tons of them out there on the internet. If you just Google emotional charts, this one happens to be by Abraham Hicks, and it's from the book Ask and It Is Given. So if you went to abraham-hicks.com, you could find this emotion chart. And like there's an emotional wheel, there's all kinds of emotional charts, and they're essentially the same thing. It's just listing the emotions. And I don't know if you can see, the color's not really good on this, but at the top, it's a little darker, the color. This color is a little darker. All these are white down here. And the darker ones at the top are your feeling good emotions. Things like joy, appreciation, empowered, freedom, love, passion, enthusiasm, eagerness, happiness, positive expectations, positive beliefs, optimism, hopefulness, contentment. And this is the energy level we want to be in. When we are releasing all that negativity, that leaves space for all those good feelings to come in. And that is also very healing, the merry heart does a body good. When you're down here in emotions such as boredom, pessimism, frustration, irritation, impatience, being overwhelmed, disappointment, doubt, worry, blame, discouragement, anger, revenge, hatred, rage, jealousy, insecurity, guilt, unworthiness, fear, grief, depression, despair, powerlessness. We've all felt these emotions. And when you're down here, you're just drawing in more of that. And it can feel very heavy. It can be very frightening. And so this is the stuff we're trying to become neutral to and let it go. Neutral, accept the situation for what it is, which will then fill our little heart space and will allow all these good feelings to come in. So, again, I really encourage you to try this and, comment, let me know how it goes, direct message me. I'd love to hear. And I wish you all a wonderful, wonderful week, and I'll be here next week. Bye for now.